Hello guys, I'm back from another video and today we're talking about what if Belle was from Terraria. And also I'm pretty sorry about what happened, a few days ago, because at the time I had a vacation which I thought was going to be in the next day, but it turns out that it was about, at that time. So I couldn't make a video at that time, so yeah. So anyway, let us begin with this story, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? So, we go to Japan. Yep, it's gonna be those types of stories. So, we go into Japan where we see a not-so-Belle. What do I mean by this? Well, Belle in this world, well, he's not Belle. This time, he's just a normal-ass, Japanese salaryman. And he's currently streaming, more specifically, on a website that's basically similar to Twitch. Yeah. So, this, not-so-Belle is currently, finishing up his, his stream by basically saying, I hope all of you guys are happy about this stream and hope to see you guys next time. After he finishes recording, he would basically be done doing a little stream. A stream on Terraria. What a coincidence. So, we go to him basically getting off of his, gigantic ass, gaming chair, as after he basically gets down from there, he would start moving towards his bathroom where he needs to take a piss. After taking a piss, he would decide to go into his little, shelf to try and find some games that he can, play on at the meantime. So, after, a while of basically looking some games, he would find a game that he forgotten for a while, about a few years. After, getting all of the dust away from the case, he would see that the game is called Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, aka Danmachi. After seeing it, he would say, wait, I thought I lost this. After basically putting it onto his console, he would recognize the sound of the theme. And yeah, he would start playing it, and after a while he would say, oh yeah, that is why I don't really like playing it, because of the hard bosses. So, after, a few tries of basically, trying to kill the boss, he would feel a bit hungry. So, after putting down the game and basically, putting the case back and basically putting it back on the shelf, he would basically go out to basically go for dinner. While he's going through the rain, he would basically see a crossroad. More specifically, wait for a second, a sidewalk. So, he would basically start, move to basically go through the street until the light turns red. And the car would basically start driving forward, and he would see a kid right beside him, and sees the car getting ready to, drive into them, but he would decide to basically save the kid. So, after throwing the kid to his mother, well, he would slam his face directly into the car, killing him. So, after that, he dies. So, we currently see not Belle currently in some sort of dark void, as he would notice a man in front of him. This man seems to be wearing a white and reddish top hat, and seems to have antlers, sort of, but he also seems to have bat wings, almost similar to a demon. He also seems to be having some sort of demon tail, but these seem to be white, pure white in fact, almost similar to pearls, if you can kind of see it. He also seems to be wearing a fine, almost beautiful robes, almost resembling a, robes that you can typically see on a, church or church official or something of that sort. As he would say this, well, hello there, kid. As he would say this, where am I? As he would say this, yes, unfortunately you died. Nice to meet you. My name is Jack, but people just call me by my codename DeVille, but Ever since I got killed during the war and, things sort of happened and I became the new god. As he would say this. Excuse me, what? As you would say this. Oh, never mind that. Anyway. So, it seems that you sort of died. And you probably know where this is going to happen. As you would say this. What do you mean? As you'd say this. Are you seriously that dense? Anyway, have you heard of an isekai, right? As you would say this. And, oh, that. So you're basically going to reincarnate me? I meant, wait for a second. Are you going to reincarnate me? As you would say this. Exactly. I wonder, what do you prefer as your powers exactly? Because I'm definitely going to make you overpowered. Just like my last, few people. Last time some guy decided to give himself the power to basically arouse any girl. And trust me, oh boy, let's just say he's having the dream life like there. As after he heard that, he would say, what power exactly? As he would start to think about his stream. During his time basically playing Terraria, as he would say this. Oh, I know. Can you give me the powers of a Terrarian, like the Terrarian main character? As he would say this. I can certainly do that. As he would basically move towards some sort of thing, and it would appear that it's some sort of screen. As after researching about Terraria, he would say this. Sure, but what class do you want your, what exactly is your class? As he would say this. By class. Not Bell is currently thinking about a class, as you would say this. How about all of them? As you would say this. So you're basically asking for yourself to be a class that's basically a jack of all trades. As you would say this. Exactly. As you would say this. Why the hell not? As you would basically create, or at least manifest, all four of the, most powerful armors of all of the classes, or more specifically, all four of the classes, which were, he mixes Stardust, then there's Solar, Vortex, and finally, Nebula. After combining all of these armors, it would create something else, creating a black armor with several gems, more specifically 4 gems each representing the Nebula, etc., armors, and 1 single gem in the same colors. Basically, darker, all of the sides would have basically the same colors, but, a little bit darker, as the main, you basically, get it, specifically the colors of the armors that were mixed into the armor, but in the middle was black, completely pitch black. As he would say this, well, meet your brand new armor. I call it the Void Armor. As he would say this. Whoa, it looks cool. And by the way, what are my weapons exactly? As he would say this. Oh, you'll find out soon in your new world. And by the way, the world that you're going to is the game that you played earlier. I think it was called whatever the heck you actually call it. As he would say this. You mean Danmachi? As he would say this. Exactly. So, anyway, I hope to see you there. Not really see you there, more like, I hope you can get a good life there. Unlike, your last one. As he would say this. Thank you, Jack. As he would say this. Anyway, hope to, have a good life there. Anyway, bye! As he would basically, put his hand up into his face, as he would disappear in a burst of light. As he would say this. It sure is boring. I can definitely see why Deus doesn't really like this job all that much. After saying that, he would hear the sound of, what the heck did you just say? As he would say this. Ah, shit. So, yeah, we go back to Not Bell. So, Not Bell is currently in this, new world. Not really new world, but you basically get it. I mean, new world, basically whatever. But, more specifically, he's in the arms of some person. Specifically, a man with a scruffy beard, as you would say this. Hello, my grandchild. as he would basically, grab him by it. He would basically grab him, basically hold him near to his chest. As he would say this, we should go now. After basically going towards a, little cabin, well, Belle would notice that he's, in a cabin. As he would say this, don't worry, I'll protect you. And your father and mother, they wanted me to protect you. Even though they're gone, I will act as your familial bond, I guess you could say. After saying this, Belle would think in his mind, please don't tell me that my mom and dad are like completely dead or something. As he would think in his mind, as this old man, which he calls grandfather from now on, would basically put him in a a little crib, as he would basically fall asleep. Wait for say, sorry about that. So, after a few years, Belle would basically, yeah, I'm calling him Belle now. Belle is finally, fully aged and also learned how to use his powers. More specifically, the powers of all four classes: Ranger, Mage, or I keep confusing the classes with the fake classes. So we have Ranger, Mage, then there's Summoner, and finally, did not save her. God damn it, I meant Bailey. Oh, god damn it, fate. Anyway, so he would start training in these classes and also learn about the weapons that he got. So, let's talk about them, shall we? So, we're gonna be first talking about the melee weapons that he has. First is the Zenith. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, and it's a legendary, it's the legendary enhancement version. So, yeah, you probably know what is Zenith. It's basically a sword that splits out into other swords and basically slices through enemies while flying. How is this a melee class exactly? I don't know. Then there's the vampire knives, which are knives that can, inflict bleeding. Not technically bleeding, but, you know, it would basically, if it per se, like, slashes to a person, well, it would regain the person's health back. More specifically, the user in question. Yeah, how is that even melee in the first place? It's like the archer class all over again. Anyway, then we go to range, which we have the SDMG, which has the the Unreal Enchantment or whatever. And if you don't know what it is, well, oh god, it's basically a dolphin machine gun. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. So, then we have the Daedalus Stormbow, which you probably know what it is. It's basically the bow that basically, when using it, it would summon in a rain of arrows. So yeah. Then we have Mage. Then we have the, the last prism, which it has the, the deadly enchantment, which if you don't know what it is, it's basically a crystal that can literally fire lasers like a Kamehameha wave or whatever you call it. Then we have the Nebula Blaze, which, wait for a second, it has, it can shoot out blasts of energy, which, well, makes sense. So, anyway, then we go to the Summoner class. Then we have the Terra Prism, or the Terra Prism, which, if you don't know, is basically, well, you can basically summon swords. Just imagine them as like glowing swords, and they can literally attack your enemies if they come nearby. Or in this case, for Belle can literally just command it with its mind. Like for example, per se, kill an enemy from far away. So yeah. Then we have the Tempest Staff, which allows him to basically summon, if you don't know, Duke Fishron's Sharknadoes. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, he's basically able to summon Sharknadoes. Then we had the Kaleidoscope. And by the way, the Terra Prism and the Tempest Staff, they both have they both have the same enhancement, more specifically Ruthless. Then we have the Kaleidoscope, which has the enhancement Legendary, which, wait for a second. And then we have the Kaleidoscope, which is basically a whip. Yeah, if you don't know, apparently in the brand new updates, because, I recently started getting into Terraria again, and, I didn't know about whips, so, yeah, apparently there's whips in the game. So, the Kaleidoscope is basically a whip that, wait for a second, which is basically a typical whip. It allows the user to basically fight, even though they're a summoner. And also Commander, summons to basically, attack. More specifically, by whipping at the enemy, it would cause the summons in question to basically take care of the problem. Like for say if he targets I think his name was let's just say Hyacinthus. Oh boy, let's just say Hyacinthus is definitely gonna be beaten to a pulp. Especially because, the firepower that he has too. And then we have his mounts, more specifically. Well, he has two mounts. One for the air and one for the, land. First we have the black spot, which allows him to summon the pirate ship. It's not an actual pirate ship like, the big old size pirate ship, more specifically, uh, about the size of a normal ass, motorcycle. Oh god. It's one of my favorite things to ride on during my playtime in the game. Like, it's one of my favorite mounts in all of my like I'm not even kidding, it's one of my favorite mounts. If I were to, go into Terraria once again and, per se, finally get into, hard mode, I'm going straight for the black spot because that mount is super useful. Maybe right next to the what is that called? I think it was the UFO. Yeah, the UFO. And not only that, it's much more easier to get. And in fact, I would sometimes, get a lot of them. So, not Izuku. Okay, start the count, boys. So, we go to, to another, mount of his, which is the land one, more specifically the Ancient Horn, which allows him to summon a Basilisk, which allows him to basically, ride on the land and also use it to basically charge at his enemies. Yeah, that's a lot of firepower in my opinion, so, yeah. Let's go back to Bell, shall we? So, we go back to Bell basically, training, and he's now about 14. Bell has been learning how to use his, new weapons for a while now, and even learned how to master the Zenith. Which, at the time when he first, summoned the Zenith, it was a bit troubling how to use it, especially with the whole, summoning several swords to basically fight for you thing. Not like not, like, it's not like the Terra Prisma, but still, anyway, so he would basically start, practicing with it, basically summoning, several swords to basically slash at the trees. And after a while of basically training with it, he would hear his grandfather. Hey, Bell. As Bell would look back, as he would basically, put his sword, or more specifically the Zenith, on his, shoulder, as he would say, "Was it, Grandpa?" As he would say this. "Well, it's time for dinner." As he would say this. "Oh, sure, I'll be there." So, after basically putting his sword back, he would basically go towards his little cabin with his father. Not really father, more like grandfather. So, after getting there, he would basically start eating with his grandfather, as he would say this. "So, kid, do you want to become an adventurer?" As he would say this. "How did you know?" As he would say this. "Well, isn't that obvious? I mean, you're basically training and you're able to use these special powers, which are definitely not skills." As you'd say this. True, old man. Anyway, yeah, I am planning to become an adventurer. And maybe even becoming, oh, I don't know, maybe a family man or something? As you'd say this. Really? As you'd say this. Yeah. I maybe planning on getting fortune and fame or something of that sort. As you would say this. Very interesting dream, Bell. Anyway, what time or what day are you planning on going to Orario? After hearing this, he would say this. Maybe tomorrow. And it's not really sure yet. As you would say this. I guess so. Very well, kiddo. Try not to cause any trouble there. Got it? As he would say this. Yeah, yeah, I know. As he would basically, wave it off as he would start packing all of his things. So, when the day finally arrives, the day that is where he's finally gonna go towards, Orario, he would say goodbye to his grandfather and many of the villagers. After doing that, he would basically start to leave, going towards Orario. As Bell is basically, doing some stuff, mostly taking care of his vampire knives, basically, sharpening them, he would basically, when it's finally literally night, he would basically go onto the straw that he's basically, sitting on and would basically fall asleep on it. So yeah, I'm gonna be leaving this episode right off here. I'm really sorry that I couldn't make it longer because, I'm kind of tired from my trip coming back here, like coming back home. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye!